Today we're looking at something very interesting. This little guy here, the lens shade for your GoPro camera. So what this is a lens shade that you get to push on top of your standard GoPro lens, and it blocks that side light from coming in. So it's like those lens hoods or lens shades you see on DSLRs. It's just kind of a way to block light from entering the lens from the side. Now this one's pretty cool because it's got some big cutouts on the side of it so that it doesn't actually end up in your shot while still being fairly large. So you can shoot 1080p wide with this and you won't see really any of it in the shot if you position it just perfectly. If you're shooting photos or 1440p or super view, you do see it. So definitely make sure you pick a lens hood if you're going to print one that suits the kind of modes you're going to shoot in. But I figured I'd give you guys a demonstration of exactly what a lens hood does in order to make this video a little bit more interesting than to me just showing off 3D prints. The demonstration we've got set up here is a LumaCube shining at max brightness into the side of the GoPro lens. The first shot we're looking at right now is the GoPro camera without a lens hood. What you can see is that while you can't actually see the LumaCube or what it's standing in for, the sun, in the shot, there's still a lot of light bleed going on the left-hand side of the image. Once we put this lens hood on, this lens shade on, we're going to see that a lot of that light bleed begins to go away. I am doing this on the fly, so I haven't actually had time to go look at the LCD screen to make sure that I did put that lens hood on just right. So you might see a little bit of it in the shot. But what you're going to notice right away is that almost all of that light bleed has been totally cut. Now, if you can't see the light source, you actually don't get light bleed from it. So you'll notice as I bring this LumaCube on the table here, if I bring it into the shot on the GoPro, then we'll see the light bleed. But as soon as the camera goes out of shot, so too does most of that light bleed. When this is useful is if you're flying on a drone and you want to be able to fly into the sun. That's where people normally use this. That's where this lens shade was designed for, was to be put on top of a GoPro that was mounted onto a quadcopter. If you've got a 3DR robotic solo, you should totally find one of these because it does make your shots just better. You cut a lot of light bleed. I'm going to be looking for one for my DJI Phantom 3 and I will be printing that off, but they're really, really useful, and they're something that I didn't really understand how useful they were until I started playing around with it. The cool thing with this mount being 3D printed is that you can customize it to whatever standard field of view you normally shoot. If you shoot 1080p narrow, you can get a much bigger lens shade than this one, or if you shoot 1440p, you're going to need to find a slightly smaller one, or design your own. Links to this lens shade and others can be found down in the video description. This is a 3D product that I feel really comfortable using on a day-to-day basis because if it breaks and if it falls apart, it doesn't matter. I'm not relying on it to hold my GoPro onto anything. It's a nice little mount because I can customize it, and if it breaks, it breaks, and I can play around with different sizes of it to make the perfect one that I need. So it's a really cool, useful thing to 3D print. If you guys enjoyed this visual demonstration of how different kinds of camera technology work, like we looked at with this lens shade, you can go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've got future 3D printed concepts you want to see tested out on this show, leave them in the comments below. Email them to me, Facebook me, tweet them at me. It doesn't matter. Get them to me and I would love to check them out. Most of all, guys, until next time, thank you very, very much for watching.